Z is falling into a permanent trap. You are being programmed to fail, and the scariest part is that you are enjoying it. Every single day, you wake up and walk straight into a trap that was designed specifically to keep you exactly where you are, average, distracted, and ultimately replaceable. A lot of guys my age treat their youth like it's an infinite resource. They think they have all the time in the world to figure it out. They wake up thinking about the next game, the next scroll, or the next hit of dopamine. They judge their progress based on how many people liked their post or how many levels they gained in a virtual world that doesn't exist. And frankly, that's a pretty stupid way to live, because now your entire future is sitting in the hands of an algorithm that doesn't care if you succeed, it only cares if you stay. Most people in our generation aren't looking for growth, they're looking for relief. Relief from the pressure of being behind, relief from the boredom of a quiet room, and relief from the insecurity that deep down, they know they aren't doing enough. They think that one day a magical opportunity is going to show up and fix the emptiness they feel right now. It won't. That is the core of the trap. Your life will not get better just because you got older. It only gets better if you get stronger. If your life is already weak, more time is just more time to be weak. It will just distract you from your lack of progress for a few more years until you wake up at 25 or 30 and realize the doors have started to close. That's why so many young men are obsessed with finding themselves. Some of them chase a new hobby every week like it's going to save them. Others go the opposite direction and try to avoid the world entirely because they think being a spectator is safe. They think if they just watch enough videos and read enough quotes, they're somehow participating. They aren't. They're just building an ego on information they haven't earned through action. And information without action is the weakest thing you can build a life on. Here is the question I think more people need to ask. What is your current lifestyle actually adding to your future? Seriously, if you're between your teenage years and your early 20s, the years where you're supposed to be building the foundation, figuring out your mission, and hardening your mind, what does your daily routine realistically bring to the table? People never ask that. They only think about what they want to feel right now. The comfort, the entertainment, the validation, the feeling of being busy without being productive. They almost never think about the cost, because there is a cost. Your focus, your energy, your momentum, and your edge, all of that is being pulled away. You were about to lock in on that skill, but then a notification popped up. You were about to work on your business, but now there's a new show to binge. You were about to spend the evening building your body, but now you're stuck in a loop of reassuring yourself that you'll start Monday. And before anyone gets defensive, I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm saying the average Gen Z lifestyle is built on bad timing. A serious break later in life when you've already built your empire and secured your future, that's a reward. But the break you're taking right now, while you have nothing to your name, isn't a reward. It's a retreat. Most of the time, your comfort is just one more thing competing with your survival. I've seen it happen to so many people I know. Guys who used to have a spark, guys who used to train every day and actually had a vision for who they wanted to be. They got comfortable and they instantly fell off. The discipline got weaker. The edge went dull. Their whole world shrank into the size of a smartphone screen. And when they finally look up, they realize they have less progress and a worse mood than they did a year ago. That's a terrible trade. I felt that myself too. There was a point where I was just drifting, and I could feel how heavy it was becoming. Not because I was depressed in the clinical sense, but because the whole way I was living was pulling me away from what mattered. I would be on my PC, meant to be working on a skill or building this channel, and I'd find myself 5 layers deep into a video essay that had nothing to do with my life. I wanted the attention, the messages, the proof that I was in the loop. And at some point it hit me, this was not helping my life in any serious way, it was just eating my time. I didn't care enough about the content to let it slow me down anymore. I had more important things to do. That's when I understood something critical. A lot of young guys don't stay in the trap because it makes sense. They stay because everyone around them acts like being average is the goal. Your friends talk about the latest drama, social media pushes the latest trend, and everything makes it look like the person with the most relatable struggle is somehow the one with the most value. That's nonsense. A man's value is not decided by how well he fits into the crowd. It's decided by how much he can separate himself from it. His discipline, his direction, his self-control, and his ability to build something that exists outside of a digital feed. That stuff matters. A lot of people are giving away the best years of their lives because they're scared of the silence. They're lonely, so they chase low-quality relationships. They're insecure, so they chase digital approval. They're bored, so they turn mindless scrolling into a personality. And because they never fix what's inside of them first, their lifestyle becomes messy from the start. That's why I keep saying that comfort won't make you happy. Because if you're empty when you're comfortable, you will still be empty when you're successful. You'll just be more distracted, and eventually, the distraction wears off. Let me make something clear, because some people always take this the wrong way. This is not me saying you should become a robot and never talk to anyone. That would be stupid. Being social is a skill. Being comfortable in the real world is a requirement. Too many guys are weird now. They can't make eye contact, they can't hold a conversation, and they're scared to be awkward for 10 seconds. That is embarrassing. You should be able to navigate the world. You should be able to lead. You should be able to exist in a room without turning to your phone every time there's a lull in the conversation. That is part of becoming a capable man. No, this isn't telling you to isolate yourself and become a bitter loser who says he's above society because he can't participate in it. That's just another type of weakness. What I am saying is much simpler. Learn how to live in the world, but stop acting like you need the world's permission to be great. You probably don't need another friend right now. What you probably need is direction, you need work, you need a mission, you need to become sharper, calmer, and more competent. Because once a man actually has something real going for him, the world looks different. Now he isn't looking for a distraction to save him. Now he's choosing whether something fits into the life he's already built, and that's a way healthier position to be in. It's like the butterfly example. The guy who runs around the field trying to catch butterflies with his bare hands usually ends up with nothing but sweat and frustration. But the guy who stays still and builds a beautiful garden, he ends up with all the butterflies he could ever want. And even if they don't come, he still has a beautiful garden. That's how life works. Build yourself, build your body, build your mind, build your future. Then the opportunities that are actually worth something will notice that. And if they don't, you still built a strong life. That's a win either way. A lot of people need to hear that because they're wasting years trying to be chosen by an employer, a girl, or a friend group instead of trying to become someone worth choosing. That mindset ruins lives. I don't think fun is useless. I don't think entertainment is a sin. I think the average guy puts way too much importance on his leisure time when in reality, that leisure isn't building his future and is actively slowing him down. The trap is real. It's comfortable, it's easy, and it's crowded. But the trap won't make you happy. Especially not if you're using it to cover up a lack of purpose. Those problems don't disappear because you bought a new game or watched a new series. They just go quiet for a bit, and then they come back louder than before. So stop chasing the distractions like they're the answer. Go learn, go build. Go be normal in a room full of people, but keep your focus where it belongs, on becoming a person with something real behind them. Because the truth is, the right environment can add to a strong life, but it cannot build one for you. And if you're still in that stage where your whole future is waiting to be shaped, then that should matter more than any temporary comfort that won't even matter by next year. Build your own life first. Then choose how you spend your time wisely. That's the only way out.